Welcome to the On Deck podcast for all your baseball DFS needs with your superstar hosts, fantasy baseball experts, Casey, Bubba, and Bogman. On Deck podcast is sponsored by LineStar app, the #1 top-rated data and analytics tool for daily fantasy sports.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the On Deck MLB DFS podcast, brought to you by the wonderful people at LineStar Sports. Make sure you check them out on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar MLB, and more importantly, download the app in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store to have everything you need in the palm of your hands to build your winning DFS lineups. You can find myself on Twitter at BDentric, and my co-host is always on Twitter at Bogman Sports. Scott Bogman, how are we doing, my friend?
I'm angry. I was robbed of a home run today.
Really?
I don't know if you watched any of the Diamondbacks Pirates game, because why would you?
I had it on my phone because I stacked both sides. So I was watching.
Oh, there you go.
I didn't see what happened. No.
So Walker hit one.
Is that how he had a 3-run single?
No. That was just
different.
Weird. That was weird.
I came back from Feddy, doing something. I was like, he drove in 3 on a single. Like, what the heck? Like, I got to see this.
It should have been a double, but I think the first base coach held him up. So I don't know. I don't know what that was all about. But he hit one down the line. And of course, I didn't have the sound on because I was recording another podcast, which I always am recording a podcast, right? But he hits one down the line, and I'm looking at it, and it looks like it goes way over the foul pole, but just inside, And they called it foul, and they went to a replay. It was on a 3-2 count or a 3-1 count, and of course, they went to the replay, said it was not a home run. I have no idea how. And then, of course, that made it a 3-2 count because that's a foul ball, and then he struck out on the next pitch. So, but then he came up with the base load. I'm like, oh, he's going to do it here, and he hit one to the wall. I have no idea why he wasn't hustling around first, because all 3 runners came in to score. So
yeah, I was confused. I was baffled.
Strange.
I was like, that's impressive. I don't know how that happened. But that's impressive. Okay, I'll take it though. But Seager still has a couple, probably one more at bat in him. We'll see how that goes. It's pretty much of a dud of the
look for him to hit his homer tomorrow.
Play him tomorrow. You got that going for you. You got that going for you on the 14-game slate. It's a day game, so it won't be on the main slate. That's
the only
day game. So it doesn't even matter. Screw you too, Bubba. God. But all the fun stuff there. It was a fun night. Royals went to Pound Town, so that was good. Off the Astros bullpen mainly though, so that was interesting to say the least. But overall, just a fun night. We got 14 games for you, though. Like we said, on Tuesday should be an absolute doozy. So let's not mess around anymore. Let's get at it with our highest total of the day to start things off here. Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim at the Baltimore Orioles. Bundy, Watkins, over under 10.5. Who you stacking up in this game?
I mean, neither pitcher. So give me Ramon Urias, Mountcastle, Mateo, Mullins, Mancini, all of those guys. So, and then, whoever you want on the Angel side. Marsh has been hitting pretty well. I just stack all the hitters you want in this game, right, Bub?
Yep, I love the Angels in this one. Pitch to contact Watkins. I think Ohtani's worth every penny. I know he's 6,400 on DK. On FanDuel, he's quite pricey as well. I got it right here, actually, as we speak. He is 4,500, so he is very, very expensive. But this feels like a potential double dong night for Shohei Ohtani. Watkins is that bad, but if you want to pair things up with him, you look at guys like Upton or Marsh or Adele. I think it's a great way for Jared Walsh to get going after he's kind of slumped since coming off the IL. This could be a great spot for him as well. Angels are very, very much in play, and like you said, stack it up. Orioles, Gosselin, yes. Said Mullins, I think, is very strong, but I don't mind going to some value like Anthony Santander is really cheap. If you want to get frisky in a GPP, it feels like a DJ Stewart night, like let's just get wild type thing. So you could have a lot of fun with both these teams. Stack them up. I usually don't pay for Ohtani, but he feels like this is one of those nights where things are about to get weird. Unless they walk him 4 times, he's the Barry Bonds treatment, which Detroit did to him last week. So that's the only downside. Just fair warning there. Arizona at Pittsburgh, another fun one here. You got Mad Bum going up against JT Brubaker, over under 8.5. Bumgarner 71 and 88, Brubaker 67 and 68. All I gotta say is Mad Bum is far too cheap on DraftKings.
Dude, do you know what his ERA since coming back off his injury is?
It's around 2.
193. You're exactly
I know because
right.
I've rostered him. Like I've picked him up in 2 leagues over the last month, and he's just been amazing.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, you got to, I feel like he needs to be in your lineup. There is little PBB data against him. Jacob Stallings, 3 for 5 with a bomb, 3 for 7 with 2 doubles for Brian Reynolds. But I'm going to take Bumgarner and I'm going to stack the D-back side again. Yep. Varsho, Walker, Cattell, Rojas. I mean, there are many, Pavin if you want. There are many D-backs hitters that are actually, you know, like I said, as soon as I moved to Texas, D-backs playing their best ball. So they're hitting right now.
Yep, I'm 100% on the same page. I think Mad Bum, phenomenal play on DraftKings at 71. Great, like he's even cash game viable at 71. 88 on FanDuel. I don't hate it either. I don't. Might not have the ceiling of some other options, but I think it's a good value. And I like a D-back stack as well. I'm with you. Rojas, down night. I'll go right back to that well. Ketel Marte had another good night for everybody. You mentioned Walker. I think a great value is a Dribble Cabrera, hitting 3rd or 4th. He's dirt cheap, and he's multi-position eligible for your lineup flexibility there. There's a lot to like, and you mentioned Varsho is just way too cheap. He went deep again on Monday. So Arizona's
3
another
games
nice
in
stack.
a row for Varsho.
Another nice stack, another nice piece of value. I like the D-backs as well, which is weird to say multiple nights in a row. I'm just going to throw that out there. Tampa Bay at Philadelphia on this one. We do have a total. Drew Rasmussen going up against Rangers Suarez, over under of 9. Rasmussen 68 and 6,000. Suarez 6,065. Neither one of these guys can go more than probably 4 innings at the most in this game. So that's kind of a downer for that one.
I mean, I know it was weird last year, but did you ever think you'd be seeing Rasmussen versus Suarez?
Especially when like 2 months ago, Suarez was like the most sought after closer commodity on the market. No.
Yeah, exactly. So let's stack up bats here. Brandon Lau has been white hot. Wander Franco has that on base streak. Manny Margot and Meadows has been hitting. Mejia has been hitting a little if he's in there. Not a lot going on the Philly side. Odubel has been hitting, but I'll take bats in this game.
Yeah, Odubel, Harper, like Hoskins is back, went deep twice on Sunday. It's interesting. I'm not really all in on Philly, but I could see the appeal. I don't mind some Tampa Bay. Like I'd love Zunino versus a lefty, but you got to think Suarez goes 4 innings and you get to the bottom of the order, faces them maybe once. And so that kind of puts a damper on a little bit of it. But see what the lineup looks like with Tampa Bay, because if anything, Philadelphia's bullpen ain't great. So I'd rather have the Tampa Bay side of it where Tampa Bay's bullpen can piece together something. So otherwise, it's kind of a stay away.
They're used to it.
Yep, exactly. So it's kind of a stay away game for me overall, I think. Chicago White Sox at the Toronto Blue Jays. Dylan Cease, Jose Barrios over under of 9 on this one. Cease 88 and 87, Barrios 86 and 85. Both offenses are sputtering right now in a big way. I think I don't really think I want to go to Barrios, but Cease could be an interesting tournament play. I'll say that much.
Yeah, it's funny because they price this correctly too. You know, Barrios is cheaper at 86 versus Cease's 88, cheaper on FanDuel as well. So I get the temptation, but if I'm not going to take either one of these pitchers, but if I did pick one, I'm with you. It would be Cease. Yeah. But I'm going to stack bats here. Yoel Moncada, 11 for 37 against Barrios with 3 doubles and 3 bombs, 8 for 21 for Eloy with a double and a bomb, 14 for 51 for Abreu with 2 doubles, 2 bombs. Robert Vaughn have been hot on the Toronto side. They're always expensive, but the usual suspects of Simeon, Vlad Jr., Bo, Teoscar, just I like bats here. That's it.
I learned something a couple days ago. Did you know that there's a humidor in Toronto now too?
You know what? They haven't played games in there in so long that I probably didn't know it and forgot it.
It made sense now because their offense, since they've gone up, has been pretty quiet. Like Detroit shut them down. They're quiet against Lance Lynn. Good pitcher, don't get me wrong, but they're still quiet. So it's like, is it that big of an impact? We'll see. It's one of those games. I'm with you. If you want to stack bats, they're great offenses. I'd rather have Toronto side than Chicago for me, but I'd probably stay away from the game, to be honest. But it feels like 14 games. Why force it in my mind?
That's true.
Minnesota, Boston, Griffin Jacks, Tanner Houck, over under of 10. This is not a video game. Like this is like All-Star Baseball 2020 or something. These are real pitchers. Jacks is 61 and 69. Houck is 79 and 67. I love Tanner Houck, but again, not going to go super deep. So it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, because of that, I'm just not in on pitchers here. I'll stick to bats. Bogats, Renfroe, Schwarber. On the Boston side, I'll pick out of Polanco, Sano, Donaldson, and Luis Ariz on the Minnesota side.
The Minnesota one is intriguing to me because I think Houck can shut him down for 4 innings. Like I believe in that, but that Boston bullpen has not been good. So you're getting them discounted. Polanco's like dirt cheap, like 37 on DK, hitting cleanup. Sano's mid 3K prices. Donaldson's like high 3K prices. You're getting values if you want to go that route, going virtually unowned. Not saying it's a must, but it's one of those that feels like I wouldn't be shocked if Minnesota could put some offense together against that Boston bullpen. Otherwise, pretty much avoiding this one as well. Well, if you want to go Boston bats, I could see it, but I'm avoiding that one overall. San Francisco at the New York Mets. Sam Long making the spot start here, going against Tyler McGill. Over under 8.5. Long 66 and 67. McGill 69 and 73. Any interest in either one of these young arms?
Yeah, McGill had a pretty good start his last time out against San Francisco. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts, and 2 walks. So I'm in on him. Bats in this one, I mean, there's not a lot. Alonso, if you want, Nimmo, JD Davis, but because I'm in on McGill, it's going to make me off on your Giants bat. So not a lot to love here.
Yeah, it's weird because like the Giants are cheaper than usual, so they're kind of appealing. But like I respect McGill enough not to get destroyed. So it's kind of a 14-game slate. I'm not going to go there type thing. I hope they destroy him as personally. Yeah, I hope they beat him up, but I just don't see it happening. I don't mind some Mets action. It's just like, who do you like outside of Alonso? Who do you really go with? Johnny VR maybe, and some other options because they're all pretty cold. And the thing with Sammy Long, if he's locating, he's really good. Otherwise, he's not overpowering. He's going to get hit hard. So it's a good recipe for Pete Alonso. It's just I don't know who else in that offense. Well, Javi Baez is back, so that's intriguing. And there's a rumor Lindor might be back on Tuesday too. So it's a little more intriguing, and still they've been so bad. So it's tough, very, very tough. Texas at Cleveland. Taylor Hearn going up against Eli Morgan. Over under of 9. Morgan 77 and 68. Hearn doesn't matter, but Morgan at least is slightly intriguing because he's been good enough, and Texas is horrific right now.
Miserable. They're miserable right now. So yeah, I'm absolutely in on Morgan for sure. And then Cleveland bats if you want. Jose Ramirez, Ahmed Rosario is one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now. Fran Mill, Miles Straw. So Morgan and a Cleveland stack is definitely in play.
Yep, 100% with you. I think Morgan's a great value on DK out after Bumgarner. And then even on FanDuel at $6,800, like you have to hope he goes the quality start, but he could give you every bat you possibly want if he pitches well. So if you want to be in a tournament, I can see the appeal there. And then I'm with you. J-Ram and Franmil are phenomenal plays. They're expensive, phenomenal plays. Throwing some Rosario and Straw. This just screams of a Franmil like big night. So I like a Cleveland stack as well, and they're pricey, so they usually go overlooked because people still want to pay for Cleveland, which I get it because it's Cleveland. Washington at the Miami Marlins. You got Eric Feddy versus Jesus Lizardo. Over under 8.5 on this one. Feddy is 73 and 63. Lizardo 64 and 65. Loving me some bats in this one, Bogman.
Yeah, I mean, these pitchers are miserable right now. Lizardo's been getting smashed. Feddy is almost a permanent pass. So give me Jazz, Hassan Diaz, Brian De La Cruz, Jesus Aguilar. Give me somebody out of Miami. And then for Washington, Soto, Keyboom, Yadiel Hernandez has been hitting. So like you said, it's all bats in this game.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of attacking Lizardo with Soto. Riley Adams, a cheap catcher. You mentioned Keyboom, switch hit, and Josh Bell. There's a lot of options to go against Lizardo because even if they don't hit him hard, he walks everybody. He doesn't last long. So like you're going to get some exposure to some Miami bullpen. And on the Washington side, I think Miami's very live here. Jazz Chisholm is one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now. You mentioned Azon Diaz. Jesus Sanchez is back hitting cleanup, and he's very, very cheap. So good pieces on both sides of this game to really have some fun with Miami and Washington. The Yankees at the Atlanta Braves. We've reached the Mecca. Andrew Heaney, Charlie Morton, over under 9.5 in this one. Morton 75 or Heaney 75 and 7K. Morton 9K and 96. I do not mind Morton as a contrarian play because the Yankees will strike out quite a bit, and you know my thoughts on Heaney. So
yeah, I mean 4 quality starts in a row, and he's Morton's probably going to be low owned as you said. So I'm in. There is some PVB data against him. Brett Gardner, 8 for 25, 2 doubles, 3 bombs, 9 for 28 for Giancarlo with 2 doubles and a bomb, 8 for 23 for LeMahieu with triple against him. And then, Freeman, Riley, Soler, Dansby, who went yard tonight, all in play as well. So I like Charlie Morton and maybe a Brave stack against Heaney.
Maybe a Brave stack. Yes, a Brave stack.
Well, they're all
I know, I'm
expensive.
just kidding.
That's the
I'm
only
kidding.
reason you
They're
don't
very
wanna do it.
expensive.
Yeah.
Very expensive, but thank you, Mad Bum, for fixing that problem. Yes, but I'm with you, Morton. I think because people see the Yankees, the Yankees on a 6-game slate on Monday were the chalkiest team on the slate. And I like Huascar Ynoa, so maybe go straight to him. He was like 20% owned in the 3-max, which is not as high as you think because of a 6-game slate.
9K.
He pitched great. He pitched outstanding for like the price point. And Morton, could he get rocked? Yeah, he loves to give up home runs, but he's got the strikeouts to go. So I'm with Morton on that one. At virtually probably no ownership. And yes, give me the Braves. All the Braves starting out with Albies and Swanson and Riley and build behind that. Heredia is your cheap piece if you're looking for one. And if you need a catcher like you do on DK, maybe William Contreras as a cheapie if you need.
There you go.
Well. Detroit at the St. Louis Cardinals. Casey Mize, Jack Flaherty over under of 8. Mize is 63 and 76. Flaherty 96 and 10-3. And Bogman, I am in. Flaherty is my favorite pitcher tonight.
Yeah, Flaherty is. You gotta love him here against the Tigers. Mize is meh and a pass. And, so another game you can potentially stack St. Louis against Mize. I mean, Tyler O'Neill, Goldie, Lars Nootbaar has been hitting real well. Tommy Edman, Yachty as well. So get in there and get yourself some Cardinals. And Flaherty is a great option, especially at this price. It's not crazy. He's priced up, but not insane. And he looked good in his 2 starts back. So I'm all over Flaherty.
And he got up to 92 pitches his last time, so he should be ready to rock and roll on this one. So I am all on Flaherty at 96 on DK. Don't even mind him at 10-3 on FanDuel. So I'm on that one. Probably no Cardinals for me. That's probably his personal bias because they have burned me in a great spots over like multiple times the past week. So I am just a scorned lover when it comes to St. Louis right now. But I get it. I totally get it. Colorado at the Chicago Cubs. German Marquez going up against Justin Steele. No total because of Wrigley, but Marquez is 82 on DK, 9K on FanDuel. I love that DK price.
Yeah. That's, what I specifically listed about Marquez was I'll be in depending on price, and the price is right here for him. So I'll go ahead and roll with him. Not interested in Steele, but some of these Colorado bats have been hot. So Crone, Blackman, Hampson, Connor Joe, Brendan Rodgers, I'll stack out of there. And if you're not going with Marquez, Hayward's 3 for 8 against him. Bodie's 3 for 6, hitting 500 with 2 bombs against him as well. Happ, Schwindel, Duffy have been hitting, so I'll pick out of that group if you're not going with Marquez.
Yep, I like Marquez quite a bit, especially on DK. FanDuel, you have a decision to make, but DK for sure. And I don't mind a little Colorado action. As you mentioned, Connor Joe, another great game on Monday. He's still very affordable. Elias Diaz, not too expensive at catcher. CJ Cron, like you mentioned. Story had the day off. He'll be back Monday. Hampson and Rogers are very cheap. Don't mind a Colorado stack at all in this game versus Steele. Hopefully the weather suits us for some friendly Wrigley action. Cincinnati at the Milwaukee Brewers. Tyler Malley versus Corbin Burns. Over under 7.5. Malley 99 on DK, 92 on FanDuel. Burns 10-6 and 11-5. I'm guessing you liking Burns a lot tonight.
Yeah, Burns is just always a top play here. He is expensive, but he's worth it. So Malley is just a little too expensive for me. I do like him. He'll probably take me off of Milwaukee bats, although there is some PVB data against him. Adames 2 for 5 with a bomb. Same thing with Kane, 2 for 5 with a bomb. 2 for 7 with a double and a bomb for Omar Narvaez. 3 for 8 with a double for Urias, and 5 for 16 for Wong with a double against him. So, there is a track record, but I don't know how much I want to challenge Malley with a 14-game slate. So I'll go with Burns, and I'm pretty much off bats in this game as a whole.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because Burns is great. No doubting that. It's just one of those weird spots that if you want to be contrarian, at least you can be contrarian with a great lineup. You're not taking a garbage lineup. So I could see, and the Reds are still expensive. Like they didn't discount them a ton like you usually get. So outside of Naked,
I like Flaherty more at his price.
That's what I do too. That's where I'm like against Detroit. I'll take the Flaherty play. Nothing against Burns at all. I think Cincinnati is quite interesting right now. And on the Malley train, everyone's going to tell you he's great on the road compared to home, which is true, except in Milwaukee where they've hit him fine. So I'm staying off of Malley. If you want to go Milwaukee, I don't mind some. I'll be honest, but I see your argument as well. Feels like a 5-2 type game. Nothing crazy. All right, 2 more games to go on this slate. Before we get there, make sure you guys go to iTunes, give a rate and review to the podcast, the On Deck MLB DFS podcast by LineStar. And if you'd rather just watch us, go to the LineStar YouTube channel, get all the fun, facial gestures and laughing and like I'm an idiot faces that I make all the time. Go check that out. Subscribe, give the old thumbs up. You won't regret it, especially when we start talking some football. That'll be great. So go check all that stuff out. But now we have Kansas City at Houston on this one. Brady Singer against Luis Garcia, over under of 9. Singer's 57 and 66, Garcia 97 and 83. Said it last night. This Houston offense is quiet. Lynch, he got the job done. It wasn't great, but got the job done. Not sure I'm as excited about Springer, but still, this Astros offense is not clicking right now.
Yeah, no Singer for me, but I do like Luis Garcia against Kansas City. And then, if you don't want to go with Garcia, you can stack up KC bats if you want because they're usually cheap. Houston bats are expensive, but against Singer, Jordan Alvarez, Carlos Correa, Taylor Jones has been hitting. Altuve, Aledmys Diaz, when he's in there, has been hitting. Nicky Lopez is one of the better hitters in baseball right now on the Kansas City side. So I like this game, but my favorite part is Luis Garcia.
Don't mind Garcia, especially on FanDuel at 83. That's a very good price point. Didn't strike out a lot of guys his last time out. That's a bit concerning for me, but I don't mind him if you want to. I prefer going with some Kansas City bats. I'm going to keep riding these guys. They're hitting well. Witt, Salvi, Benny, Nicky Lopez. Like, it's a very top-heavy lineup. You got Dozier's cheap if you need them. So I don't mind a little contrarian Kansas City action on this one to make things a little different. Last game of the evening, Dodgers, Padres. Luis Urias, and now it looks like we might get Yu Darvish coming off the IL. That's the latest I saw about half an hour ago before we started. We'll see. It could change. Could be Ryan Weathers. Who knows? But Urias, Darvish, personally, both coming off the IL, I'm passing.
Yeah, Urias is in his one start. He hasn't gone deep enough in his previous 4 to get a quality start. And then his one start against San Diego is 4 innings, 6 earned. 5 strikeouts, 4 walks. So I'll pass on Urias. Whether it's Darvish or Weathers doesn't really matter. It's just bats in this game for me. If you want Muncy, Trey Turner, Pollock, you got to pay up for these bats, of course. Cronenworth, Will Myers, Trent Grisham, Manny Machado, Tommy Pham. Both Pham 3 for 8 with a double and a bomb against Urias, and 3 for 10 for Machado with a homer against him as well. So I'll just stick to bats in this game.
Yeah, I can see the Dodgers being a little sneaky in this one, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what these two guys come off the IL. I don't even know how deep they're going right now. Need a lot more beat writer support on this one.
Right.
A ton. But let's recap things. Boggs, what do you got for your pitchers tonight?
For pitchers, my favorite is Flaherty, like you. Then Burns, Morton, Bumgarner, and Garcia, with secondary options of Morgan, Miguel, and Marquez.
Yeah, we're similar. Flaherty, Burns, and Morton up top price-wise, and they got Marquez, Bumgarner, Morgan down below, and Seager just flew out to the wall in center field. You can't make this up.
I missed mine by inches. They replayed it, and your guy flew out to the wall.
You can't make this up. All right, so we're on pretty much the same pitchers here, which is great. Now, who are you stacking up tonight?
For stacks, I've got Angels in Baltimore either side, Arizona against Pittsburgh, Washington against Tampa Bay, or Tampa Bay against Washington, and then St. Louis versus Detroit, Colorado against Chicago.
Yeah, the Arizona game, big fan of Arizona. LA, Baltimore, prefer the LA side, both very, very much in play. Washington, Miami could be sneaky fun as well. Love Cleveland, love Atlanta. And then Colorado and Kansas City for me. That's where I'm looking at for now. So again, pretty similar builds that we're looking at right now. But more importantly, what we're looking at is home run calls today. And where you get those at? LineStar on Twitter, at LineStar app, and at LineStar MLB. They'll tweet those out for you every day, Monday through Friday, from Bogman, myself, and Ryan Humphreys. If you retweet that tweet, 3 lucky retweeters get paired up with each one of us. And if our guy goes deep, you'll win some free swag. Not too much swag on Monday, but Bogman finished up Thursday and Friday with some swag. So let's see how we keep things going. On Tuesday, Bogman, August 24th, who's your home run call of the day?
Give me Jose Ramirez against Hearn. Let's get it, Jose. Let's get back on the board.
I wrote down 2 names just in case you took mine. You did not, so I'll go to my top name. And I said it pretty much at the top of the show. Give me Shohei Ohtani. I got to back it up. I love Shohei tonight. Love him in this matchup. Camden Yards, probably pulling off that metal supply building where that kid is back there in right field. Hit maybe Cal's numbers if they're still on the wall. I don't know. But give me Shohei Ohtani. I like your J-Ram call. My second guy was Franmil Reyes, but we'll go with we've got Shohei and J-Ram, so I like that one quite a bit. We'll see what Ryan Humphreys has for us, but should be a fun 14-game slate. Lots of ways to go, which is the way I like it. Not too cut and dry, which is very, very nice. But check out Bogman on Twitter at Bogman Sports. I'm at BD Entrick. We'll be back with you guys on Wednesday. Good luck, everybody.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the LineStar app On Deck podcast. Download LineStar app from the App Store or go to linestarapp.com for all your DFS baseball needs. If you love the On Deck podcast, support KC, Bubba, and Bogman by rating and subscribing. Good luck.